Laundering, Doyin Okupe resigns as Obi's campaign DG. Let me give you a little bit of the story. Mr. Doyin Okupe has resigned as the campaign director general of Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. In a letter addressed to the Labour Party presidential candidates on Tuesday, which was yesterday, Okupe noted that it is better not to allow his personal interest to distract the campaign of Obi and that of the party, hence his decision to step aside. Looking into that conversation this morning, we have with us in the studio a public affairs analyst, Mr. Olawale Atelu Matu. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Thank you.
These developments that we've been having in the nation, what is your own view about all the scenario that has been playing in recent times?
When you look at some of the occurrences in the country, you would come to conclusion that Nigeria is established to breed corruption. Because when you see some people, when you hear some people saying they are clean, they are not corrupt, they are transparent or something like that. In terms of Labour Party generally, they want to prove to people that they are different from other contestants or other candidates. Now, this one that just happened recently, Doyin Okupe is a politician and has been into politics for a long time. So it is not even in Nigeria. Hardly would you see a politician who is not corrupt.
All right, we'll pick it from that. Dear viewers, to be part of this conversation, simply dial the number on your television set. You said that hardly are we going to see a Nigerian who is not corrupt. Is that allegation not too huge?
A politician, I mean, when you look at our constitutions, you will think the constitution is meant to propagate corruption. Let me give you an instance of what just happened. Somebody laundered 200 million naira and he was charged on 26 count charge. A charge is 500,000 naira. Multiplied by 26, that is about 30 million naira. Out of 200 million naira that was laundered. Not only that, each of these charge comes with 2 years imprisonment. And it was stated that it would be run concurrently, meaning that that person will serve just 2 years for all the 26. Why that? Somebody who has committed such offense, you are still giving that person an option to pay fine instead of going to prison. So he was supposed to sentence to about over 50 years.
Why would you say that? We have the laws and they have to follow the laws.
That is why I said the constitution itself does not help.
Also, are you looking at a situation where we can have a constitutional review like people have suggested and it's on the table?
Yes, that is what we need. If Nigeria wants to remain Nigeria and want to, change from what we have been experiencing, we need to review the constitution. We need to change the way we are running this country. Because if not, everything keeps advancing every day. So the constitution of 50 years ago might not really work in the 21st century. So we need to review it, change some areas that does not even meet today's standard. So without that, we'll continue to experience such.
Some will argue that the court case of Doyin Okupe and the judgment is actually a win for democracy. And some will say that is to support what the president has said in his mantra, that he's going to fight corruption, that we are getting there.
We don't know, because this one, Mr. Doyin Okupe is from an opposition party. And we know how they run the politics of this country. So the incumbent government hunt the opposition party. That's the norm that we have been experiencing. So we cannot really say that it's a means of fighting corruption or being a good man. So let us look at his own cabinet. How many of his cabinet have been charged with corruption?
So you think it's to whittle down the obedience movement, as it were?
Yeah, because he is from the opposition party. So are we saying that none of those who are none of those people that are running country to the affairs of this country for the past over 7 years, they are not corrupt, or they have not embezzled more than 200 million naira.
But now let us look at the step that Doyin Okupe'S has taken. He has resigned now. After the court issue, he said he wanted to face the court issue fully and not to be distracted at all. What will be your upload to this, negative or positive?
Well, probably he didn't want to jeopardize the chances of the presidential candidate. Probably that was why he resigned, because the stigma is there already. So if he's still in the film, you know, the stigma will tell to a certain extent. So him resigning gives the party a little upper hand, so that when people say, the party will say, of course he has resigned to face whatever travail he has with the federal government.
But let us look at the anti-corruption fight of this present administration. Do you think we are winning the war?
We are not. We are not winning the war, because corruption is everywhere in the country. So we cannot say how many this EFCC, how many, even the money that they got from the people they charged. Where is this money? The money they got from the money Abacha looted. Where did they direct this money to? Because we could remember that the educational sector of this country was passive for over 7 months. So due to lack of funds, and we are saying some people are getting money from somewhere, and money that has been looted, we regain them, and we failed to channel the money to where it is needed. So we cannot say we are winning it, because even with the present situation of the economy of the country, we cannot say we are free from corruption.
If we are not free from corruption, no matter even if we have a change of government, are you foreseeing a situation where Nigeria can change for the better?
The only thing that can save Nigeria is to review the constitution, change this constitution totally. This constitution is not helping the matter. That is why we are having the problem, because it is the constitution that is managing, that we are using to manage the whole country. So if, as far as we are still having this particular constitution, we are going nowhere in this country.
And when we look at what has happened as regards his resignation, some will say that that is a good body language towards the OBE movement. That once he gets there, that corrupt politicians won't be able to have a soft ground again.
Well, it is easier said than done. Some people in the past also say that, but when they got there, story changes. So we cannot adjudge the fact that somebody stepped down from being a corrupt person as charged by the High Court, that would be a yardstick for the candidate. No, it wasn't the candidate. Did the candidate not know that he laundered money? He knew. Why did they choose him? Why did they choose the man to be the DG?
Someone that has a court case.
Someone who has a court case. So someone who has a court case, until the court says otherwise, that he's not corrupt or he's not guilty of the offenses, that is why we can say, okay, he's not guilty.
Okay, let me read out to you what Doyin Okupe wrote to Peter Obi. He said that, Dear Peter, you will recall that I briefed you yesterday about my personal travails in seeking justice and clearing my name using the Nigeria legal system. I have invested too much in your campaign to allow my personal travails to become a source of distraction. He saw it as personal travails, like some people are witch hunts on him.
I wouldn't agree to that, because the fact that he paid the fine means that he accepted that he was guilty of the charges. So I wouldn't see it as being
witch hunted,
because he should have, because it was High Court, he should have appealed. Yes, it should have appealed to the Supreme Court. So the fact that he cannot appeal again, because he has agreed, he has paid the fine, instead of going to 2 year imprisonment. So I don't think he's being witch hunted. So it was, because part of the act of money laundering, as an individual, you are not supposed to transact over 5 million naira directly without a financial institution. And he was charged to have involved in financial transaction over 10 million naira from 2012 to 2015, in which there's a particular 200 million involved in between himself and the NSA. So he was not witch-hunted, so it was the fact, and he also proved it by paying the money that was charged.
With this that is playing out, what do you think will be the outlook of 2023 and even electing a new set of leaders into our political system? This
event does not change anything. The fact that Doyin Okupe'S whatever does not change anything. So what, in this Nigeria's politics, even those who are contesting, they know where the thing will fall to. They know who is on the positive side, they know who is on the negative side. So they are just playing games. Yes, they are playing games, because even looking at it critically, we will see that the party that has the power always has upper hand. They will spend everything. They will use the power of incumbency. They will use money. They will use power. They will use everything to retain the power, unless once in a while, if it happens. So, Doyin Okupe'S issue or not, what the politics still remains.
And let's look at the lessons we can learn from this particular issue. What are those lessons that you think politicians in Nigeria can learn from this?
That when you find yourself in such a situation, don't fight what you cannot win. You have been charged, and you know that you are guilty of that. Don't bother to stress yourself. Let the law take its course, so that others who are coming behind will learn from them. They will take precedence. This thing happens to this person, and this was what happened. So if I do the same thing, this same thing will happen to me. So it would
it will curb
the level of corruption in the country. But this thing that just happened, I don't think it will curb corruption, because I will see that somebody stole 200 million and he was asked to pay 13 million out of 200 million. It's a gain to the person who stole the money.
All right, let us look at the whistleblowing policy. We have a situation where there was a time that we have whistleblowers, and all of a sudden we are not even hearing from the whistleblowers again to say that, oh, this person is corrupt. Why will you elect this person into this particular office?
You see, the issue of whistleblowing is about money, because somebody who blows a whistle will be compensated by the government, isn't it? So if I want to blow a whistle and the government will pay me 2 million naira, and I went to the person to whom I want to blow the whistle against, I say, okay, I have the whistle to blow. The government will give me 2 million naira. So what's your stake? Okay, I'll give you 10. I will not blow any whistle.
Then that means the whistleblower is also corrupt. If you have gone to the person you want to blow the whistle to
say. That is why I said whistleblowing is all about money. So it's about business. So you are giving me 2, you are giving me 10.
So it's not about patriotism.
So it's not about patriotism.
Are we ever going to get to an end of corruption in this country?
Of course, yes.
When?
That is when we have the proper system. When we have a good law that guides our system. So now we don't have a good constitution, so we cannot have a good system. So because it is the constitution that guides the system that will curb us. If you do this, this is what will happen no matter who you are in this country. But that is not the case at the moment. So no matter the level of law in this country, it depends on who you are. So if you are a common citizen, the law works. If you are the middle class, it works to an extent. If you are the high class, it doesn't work. So if it continues like that, we cannot have a good system until everything changes to normal. Of course, there are other countries now in the world. We are not the only countries in the world. And they have laws.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Lawali Atelumatu. What are your parts and issue on this issue of Doyin Okupe'S resignation and matters arising?
Anyways, it's a plus to the party. because it frees them from unnecessary rumor like that. So it will help them. So the only thing is they will look for another person to manage the campaign council as it progress. So the election will come and go. So as citizens, so let's maintain a degree of decorum during this electioneering, because those who are campaigning, they care for nobody. So it is we that will care for ourselves. So we should take it easy.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Olawale Atelumoto. We quite appreciate you. The viewers, at this point, we'll take a breather. When we come back, it will be time for another conversation with another guest to stay with us.